Hey everybody, Jason Akers with Akers Pest Control, and tonight I don't have a hat. My hair is all messed up too, so bear with me. Hope everybody's doing all right this evening. Um, wasn't sure how many people would show up tonight because evidently presidential debate's going on right now. So hope everybody's doing all right. If anybody has any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I didn't really come on here with a plan of what we were going to talk about tonight, but I'm usually pretty much open to anything. You can ask me questions about, bed bugs, spiders, ants, crickets, anything you want. Actually, hey Katrina, I actually thought I would talk tonight about bed bug bites and kind of explain a little more about the video that went out a couple days ago on bug bites and how to identify bed bug bites. But yeah, Katrina says watching the debate stressed me out. I'd rather watch you. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. But anyway, so I made a video a couple nights ago. Went live and I did a premiere, so you can basically kind of sit there and watch the video, and you can talk with me and ask me questions if you see something on the video that you're curious about. You can ask me, like, what did you mean when you said this, or what do you mean when you say this, or what type of pesticide is that? How do you find that, or whatever. And so you're able to actually ask me questions live. And if you guys like that, think about thumbing up the video or whatever, or let me know in the chat if you think that's something you'd rather me do more often. I can just change. So normally the way that I put my videos out, so I do a video typically between 15 and 20-minute video once a week on Tuesdays, and then here I am on Thursdays live streaming if I have the chance, which I've tried to stay pretty consistent with my live streams. But on my videos I can start releasing them in the evenings, and I can chat with you guys for however long the video is, instead of releasing it in the morning. Usually I release a video at 6 a.m. Eastern time, and that was working pretty good for most people. But if you would rather me release it at night, I can release it at night, do a premiere. So if you guys like that, last week or a couple nights ago, whatever it was, just let me know. John Snow says, hello, I treated my place with Crossfire for bed bugs. I did not treat the kitchen, bathroom. Do you think that those areas are necessary to treat? I usually do. When I do a house, I go in and I treat the baseboards in every room. So, I guess it's you wouldn't necessarily have to if the bed bugs weren't severe. If the bed bugs were really severe, I would think that maybe you would want to do every room. I walked into a house a few weeks ago where the bed bugs were on every baseboard, not just the bedrooms. They were actually in the foyer, they were in the living rooms, they were in the bathrooms, the kitchens, they were on the ceiling throughout the entire house. And so if they're really severe, then yeah, that's something you need to go see your doctor about, Mike. But so yeah, I was talking in my video the other night about bed bug bites. So typically the sign that you have bed bugs, the type of bed bug bites that you would get, would does Crossfire work on bat bugs? Crossfire is not for bat bugs, it's for bed bugs. So I imagine it would work for bat bugs, but it's not really labeled for bat bugs, so I couldn't tell you how it actually worked. The difference between Crossfire, so I made a video today, but and it's going to be released probably either next week or the week after, on Crossfire. and heat treatments. Actually, I haven't done a video on heat treatments in a really long time. I haven't really gone over them recently. The very first video I ever did on my channel was why heat treatments don't work on bed bugs, and it was pretty popular. It's still my number one most popular video on my channel, and it's the very first video I ever made, and it's reaching close to 200,000 views. And I pretty much go over why you don't want to do a heat treatment on your house and why you may want to look into other options like a chemical application. And so today I've filmed a video going over, I haven't edited it or anything like that, I still have to do that, but mainly going over the differences in the last 4 years and if a heat treatment is still viable or not. And so that video is going to go live probably either next Tuesday or the Tuesday after. Do you have a video? But as far as bat bugs go, just about any chemical will kill bat bugs. You don't have to use Crossfire. The reason you need Crossfire for bed bugs is because bed bugs develop immunities to pesticides. And Crossfire has pibromobutoxide in it, and so it works really well on bugs that develop immunity. And that's why I like to use Crossfire for bed bugs. But for bat bugs, you could use just about anything. I mean, as far as a general use pesticide would probably kill them. Katrina says, do you have a video on what it's like to be a second generation PCO and your experiences? I think that would be interesting. Okay, so I do have something in the works for things that wouldn't be really something that would work on this channel. So the way YouTube is that the way the YouTube algorithm works is YouTube wants you to have a channel about one specific thing or 2 or 3 specific things. And that's all you're really allowed to have on your channel. Anything that you add to your channel that doesn't actually have to do with what your channel's about. So my channel is about typically bed bugs, roaches, fleas, spiders, just bugs in general. If I were to go into more of a personal type where like my maybe my history growing up as a pest control technician, my son, he would be considered 3rd generation, if anything from him, that really wouldn't be considered something for the channel. YouTube would actually penalize me for putting something like that on the channel, because then YouTube says, well, maybe he's not about bugs, maybe this is more of a vlog type channel. How are we going to get vlog information in front of other people that may not want to see stuff about bugs? So I'm actually in the works of something right now that I can't really talk about too much, but more along the personal, side of my life. And so more about that later. So that's a little bit sneak peek anyway. But I'm maybe about a month or so out from actually talking about that. But I figured I'll mention it to you. But yeah, I'm actually, to kind of answer your question, I'm working on that. Leon says, how do you stop sewer roaches from coming through the pipes? I treat with Bifin inside and outside. And I still see them alive or dead near the bathrooms. Well, I mean, if they're dying, they're dying. One of the things that I tell people a lot of times, I get a lot of complaints from my customers that they see dead bugs. So pesticides are designed to kill bugs. And bugs are, they naturally want to get into your home, into your living space. This is why people call pest control technicians, is because they don't want bugs in their house. So when you have dead bugs, yeah, the bugs are still going to try to get in your house. They're still going to try to come in. They're still going to try to invade. But if they crawl through chemical, they die. Sometimes you just can't stop the natural behavior of a bug. No matter how hard you try, whether you use a repellent or whatever, you can't always just stop the natural behavior. They naturally want to be in the house. And like this time of year, so it's October, we're getting a lot of stink bugs and ladybugs and stuff like that in the house. And even if you put a repellent on the house to try to keep them outside, because it's a natural desire for them to want to hibernate over inside the walls of your home or the attic spaces and different things, they will continue to come in the house even if you spray a repellent. They may be more reluctant to come in, but eventually they will have to come in, and when they do, they crawl through the chemical and they die. and you see dead ones all in the windowsills and all on the floor and different places like that. So that's completely normal. But yes, YouTube is extremely restrictive, Katrina. They're very, very restrictive on what you can and can't do. But what they want to do is I kind of understand is they're more of like a television platform. So it's like if you were to go to, say, PBS, you wouldn't expect to necessarily see murder mystery shows on PBS, or if you were on, say, one of the like basketball channels or football channels, and you wouldn't expect to go there and see a soap opera. So I kind of understand they kind of want things broken up into categories, but I am actually working on a more personal vlog. If you go through my YouTube channel, I've got stuff on there from like when we did a trip to Disney, and there were different things that I did with my family. Those videos still only have like 40, 50, 60 views. My videos that I put up last for like 2 nights ago, that when you guys were here, YouTube wants people to see that video because they understand that I am a pest control channel, and so that's something they want to show people from my channel. But when it comes to anything personal that I put up, they're like, nah, we're not going to let people see that. That's not really what he's about. And so that's why. But I really am working on something that's more personal for you guys that are interested in that. I was actually thinking about doing maybe some stuff on, how to create your own pest control business. How I went about creating my business, how I went about forming it, and different things like that I really can't go on and talk about on this channel that other people wouldn't be interested in. But yeah, you can go through my YouTube. I got so many. I've got everything kind of broke up in playlists. So I've got my bedbug playlist, which is the longest playlist. I've got cockroaches, fleas. I think, let's see. So, let's see. We'll do it together. Because I can do this. I do this all the time with you guys. So let me go screen share. All right. So if we go to YouTube and click over here and let's search Green Acres Pest Control. And let's go. See, there I am. I'm live. Oh man, that hair looks awful. So let's go here. And then we'll go to playlist. So if you're on my channel, after you've clicked this little red button that says subscribe, then you go over to playlist right here. And these are all the playlists I have on my channel. So I got loads of playlists. And by the way, I'm on TikTok. For you guys that are interested, I have a little group of links up here at the very top of my list. Right here is TikTok. So you can actually click that little link right there, and it will take you to my TikTok channel, which is right here. There's Emma. That's my daughter, for anybody that's interested. So this is a little more personal. I've got some bedbug pictures. There's Charlie, and just some funny stuff that I did on TikTok. So if you're interested to see that sometime, you can go check that out. Crazy stuff I've done. But so you've got like bedbug informational videos. I've got here, there's 76. Actually, there's 100 do-it-yourself videos. There's stink bugs. I've got 8, 4, 19 for Spray Jockey's Guide to Exterminating. That's for like people like me. And so if you keep scrolling down, there's a vacation vlog right here. I've got 7 videos of when we went to Disney. This was a couple years ago that I did. So anyway, if you're interested. But like I said, you should really subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can know when I'm live, like tonight. So anyway, let's go ahead and turn that off again. So Gary says, I was wondering, since I haven't seen any more bugs, should I spray again? I've been sleeping in a new bed for a week tonight and nothing. That's great. That's wonderful. I wouldn't spray. I'd give it at least a month before you spray again. Molly says, I got my ant spray. We'll spray soon. That's good. I actually recommend, if you're going to do ants, and this is something that helps a lot with ants, if you use a repellent around the outside, so basically anything that's like a cypermethrin, permethrin, deltamethrin, a thrin, THRIN on the end, which it's a synthetic pyrethroid. They're very repellent for ants. And so I would put that around the outside to try to keep the ants out of the house. Most ant colonies, a lot of people don't know this about ants, but most ant colonies actually do not live in your house. They live outside of your house and they travel back and forth into the house. The mother colony will create little satellite colonies that she will send out. And so you'll have, maybe 2,000-3,000 ants, including like reproductive soldiers, workers, all that stuff all together. And they will live in the wall of your house, but they will communicate back and forth with the mother colony, whether it's in the tree or in the ground or somewhere outside. So if you can eliminate the communication between the satellite colony and the mother colony, if the satellite colony hasn't become independent, they'll die. They'll actually die off because they can't communicate back and forth with the mother colony. So that's one way you can use it. If you use a repellent, it kind of tells the mother colony that's outside, that's continuing to send ants back and forth and helping back and forth, they can't go that way because now there's a repellent in the way. So that does help a lot with elimination of ants. So just out of curiosity, did you guys enjoy sitting with me a couple nights ago talking to me about bedbug bites and stuff? Just let me know what you think, because if like I said, if you guys would rather me start doing that, I'm here for you. So I do all of my YouTube for you guys. I'm here just to talk to you, to help you out, and take time out of my night. So I don't mind to help you out. I'm not sure what that is, Molly. I think your cat might have sat on the keyboard. I might have mispronounced something or said something wrong. I'm not exactly sure. And this is on a little bit of a delay, so if I don't answer your question immediately, it's because it's YouTube, and YouTube does have a little bit of a delay on, I think it's like 15 seconds. I don't like bedbugs either. Katrina says, I liked your premiere at first. I was confused because I thought you were texting and driving. No, I don't do that. Oh, the repellent? Like a repellent spray? Bedbugs don't live in mattress frames. That's ridiculous. So let's see. Actually, I don't know. Let's see. Let's look together. See, I'm doing all this. I forget I can share my screen with you guys. That's hard to say about the UK. The problem with I struggle with this every day. So Asa asks if there was any alternative for crossfire in the UK. The problem with the United Kingdom is they have outlawed neonicotinoids, and so there are no chemicals like neonics. There's nothing like them. They are a very unique type of pesticide. Crossfire is a neonic. Alpine WSG is a neonic. Imidacloprid is a neonic. And so these are very unique pesticides in that they attack insects in a different way than other chemicals do. And so they are highly toxic to social insects like honeybees. And so in the United Kingdom, they which is where the honeybee, the European honeybee, came from. It's actually, a lot of people don't know that about America, but the United States did not have the European honeybee prior to Europeans. And so we actually brought the honeybee here. We didn't have the honeybee here before Europeans came here. And so it's very toxic to honeybees. And so when you use it, if you use it incorrectly, a neonicotinoid, then the chemical can cause colony collapse of the honeybee colony. And so that's why they're outlawed in places like the United Kingdom, because they're worried about the honeybee population being wiped out. And so it's a very concerning thing. Now, in the U.S., it's not that big of a deal because, like I said, we have plenty of pollinators here that aren't necessarily honeybees. For example, we have butterflies, bumblebees, lots of stuff. I can't list them all, but we have lots of different things that pollinate. So it's not that as big of a concern here in the U.S., considering that the European honeybee was imported in the first place. But so that's the question: is there anything like Crossfire for the UK? No, but there are chemicals that you can buy that will work. The problem that I have, something like Apprehend, but you would not be able to buy that. That's something you would have to actually. But that's what I would recommend if you could find somebody that would apply that. That will be better than basically any other thing you can get in the UK. Gary says, I'll be sending you a card. Oh, you don't have to do that, Gary. But hey, just the fact that you're here talking with me, that's all I need. Molly says, the ant spray you just said about colonies outside in the spray, could you type it? Yes. So let me show you. So if we go to Amazon /green Akers Pest Control. So this is my Amazon page, and if y'all want to look with me, there's a link for you. Can you tell me more about temperate for bed bugs? Yes, I can. I will in just a minute. And I don't recommend temperate. So if you scroll down from here, you've got carpenter bees. I just added this yesterday. Carpenter bee section. Stink bugs. Let's see. Ant control. All right, so here's our ant control supplies. And we've got this is for dust. So if you were to use like a dust, the dust disappeared. I had a dust up here and it disappeared. The problem with Amazon, and this is the only beef I have with Amazon, I have to constantly change my products. So, for example, I recommend in bird bites, I recommend Suspend SC. So not Suspend Polyzone, Suspend SC. John just donated $10. Thank you very much, John. Man, I didn't expect that. That threw me for a loop. That ring in my ear and everything. I didn't expect that. Thank you very much, John. I appreciate that. But anyway, so if you scroll... Now I lost my train. That threw me off. So, last night, I had somebody that asked me what I could do. Oh, thank you, Rory. Mm-hmm. Rory made me tea. He's a good boy, see? That's my tea. Wow, that's hot. So anyway, if you go to bird mites and you go to Suspend SC, now this is not the same as Suspend Polyzone. This is Suspend SC. This is for mites. This will kill mites. So if you click here, it'll take you to the page and you can see that. See, you see the label and everything. This will actually kill mites. This has got mites on the label. This is, so if Amazon ever decides, well, we're going to change our page, and so that doesn't exist there anymore, that link disappears. So like when you go into my page, I'm going to get to this. So I had a question about rats. If you go down and you actually look down at this list, let's close this one, and you scroll down here. So let's see if anything else has changed. So if you go to mouse control, so this is mice and rats right here. So if you click here, this is the bait that I use. I use this bait for mice and rats. It is phenomenal. I have seen other baits like First Strike and all kinds of different baits. Nothing compares to Weather Block, at least in Virginia. Now the way that mouse poison works is it's based on palatability, and if the mice or the rats even take it, they have to want it. They have to want to eat it. But I've never had a problem with mice or rats taking this poison. This poison is extremely, extremely good poison, but it is very toxic. It is highly bait stations. These are the bait stations I use. This is a rat station. These are the rat stations I use. These are the mouse stations. This is just for mice. And so what you do is you see how it's got this little metal bar. When you put your poison in here and you close this, it clicks shut and it's got a key. And the only way to open it is with a little key. And if I had one handy, I'd show you what it looked like. I don't think I have one right here. Sometimes I have it in my pocket and I'll lay it here on my desk. But anyway, yeah, so it takes a special key to open that box. And so kids can't get in it. Dogs, you have to keep them away from dogs and stuff because dogs might actually be able to chew through that plastic. But that bait is amazing. That's what I recommend for rats and mice. It is just, there's nothing quite like it. It's really good. And that's like I said, with my Amazon store, if you ever go to, if you just bookmark this page, if for some reason you ever see that a chemical disappears, just let me know. I will figure out a link to get the information to you. But that happens all the time. For a long time, the termiticide, so you can't, the Termidor, I couldn't find Termidor anymore, like for termites. And so this is one that I've got for termites. This is Taurus SC. This is the same thing as Termidor, but it's like a generic thing. And so I can't find Termidor on Amazon at all anymore. So like if I go to Amazon, if I go to Termidor SC, see, Taurus is all you can find. That's what you can find. That's it. So you can't find it anymore. It used to say Termidor, and I had somebody actually comment and say, "Hey, I can't find Termidor in your Amazon page anymore. It doesn't exist." And so I couldn't find it on Amazon at all. So Amazon actually quit selling Termidor. So what I recommend for ants, to get back on subject, because then I got off on a tirade, I recommend, let's see, if I have a link here, flea, termites, where's spiders? Do I have spiders? Oh, there's spiders. See, there's alpine. Let me see, I'm going to add something to this real quick, if I can. Let me see if it'll let me. Because I would recommend, I got one I'll recommend to you. Add to your storefront. Let's see, let's not do that. Let's go to spider control and edit list. Trying to help you real quick. Sorry, Molly. Well, I want a tip and pour. There we go. So let's see, did that fix it? There we go. All right. So that's what I would recommend. Demon Max is what I recommend for control of spiders outside. Now, the difference between this chemical right here and this chemical right here. So this is Alpine WSG and this is Demon Max. Demon Max is a synthetic pyrethroid. It's highly repellent. This is non-repellent. Don't mix them in the same tank. So if you're going to use Demon, you want to use it in a different spray tank than this because they counteract each other. So don't use them in the same tank. So let's get a question here. There's another question came up. I've got several questions come up. So Healing Best says, what is your opinion, if any, on Apprehend? The problem with Apprehend, and I did a live stream on this about a month or so ago. Apprehend is a fungal spore, and so there's still a lot of questions out there about the effect it has on the human skin, that it actually can cause allergic reactions. The mold spore that actually, or fungal spore that Apprehend is made of, actually has causes allergic reactions on people, and it's more harmful than, say, Crossfire. I feel like Crossfire is safer, but there are places where Apprehend's the only option, and if it's the only option, it's a 90-day residual. I've had a lot of people say it's really, really effective, but I feel like after you've eliminated your bed bugs, you kind of need to go through and steam clean your mattress and get all those spores out of your mattress, because I don't think you'd want to use the mattress if it still has Apprehend on it. I think that's something that after the bed bugs are gone and they've been eliminated, that you should go in and actually clean the stuff off your mattress. That's how I feel about Apprehend. But like I said, people don't do that and they still sleep on it and everything. It's supposed to be completely safe for humans, but the reason I don't like it is because there have been cases where that specific mold, there was a case study that was done in a university, and I can't remember exactly which one, but I actually downloaded it. It's on my computer somewhere. I was reading through it. It's like over 100 pages. But about Apprehend, not Apprehend itself, but the mold used or the fungus used to create it, and how it does cause allergic reactions and skin reactions to people. And the fact that you're having to lay into bed on it because you have to treat the bed with it, it's just I just don't. That's one reason I've never used it, is because of that. I'm very particular on the chemicals I use. So I've been doing pest control since I was 6 years old, and so I'll be 39 in December. So yay me. But so 33 years of doing pest control almost, and I'm very particular about the pesticides that I use around myself, around my children, around my family, and so I like to use that in my business. Same business model is, if I can't use it around my own family or around myself, I don't want to use it around my customers, and so that causes me to be very knowledgeable. If you get a pesticides label for spiders, it's more than likely it's going to kill spiders. If you have a pesticide label for bed bugs, most of the time it's going to kill bed bugs. Not all the time, but sometimes, most of the time. Like Crossfire kills bed bugs, but it's really safe to use around people. And so I'm very particular about what I pick. Like I have people call me all the time. It's one of the reasons that I'm so highly rated in Virginia, is because my customers know that if they call me, I'm not going to use something in their house that's going to harm their dog or their cat that might lay in the bed with them, and so I'm very particular. So yeah, I got off on a tangent. Have you ever had bed bugs? Oh my goodness, can you tell him to bring me that plastic bag? I tell you what,
Text him.
I'll text him. He's upstairs. I got something for you guys, and it's alive. Bring me the plastic bag from the top of the fridge. My son is really into politics, so he's watching the debate upstairs. I haven't seen. So have you ever had bed bugs become immune to Crossfire during a treatment? What do you use in the rare occasions they are immune? I have never had a bed bug that was immune to Crossfire yet. Been using it for 3.5, almost 4 years. But I have had immunity issues with other chemicals, and I switched to Crossfire. And because I haven't had any immunity issues yet with Crossfire, I haven't switched away from it. I don't have anything in rotation right now. Dash says, I haven't seen a bug in 7 months. Am I in the clear? Okay. So, I think you're in the clear. Eyes to See says, hi Jason, I'm moving into a new apartment. My car, hotel room were treated. What should I do to make sure I'm safe in my new place? I'm throwing most everything out to be safe. I would treat the new place. Just make sure you treat everything before you move in. All your baseboards, treat your beds and stuff like that you move in. So yeah, that's all I would do. That's what I would do if it were me. I mean, I treated our house before we moved in. I don't know what people here. There was bugs in this house. There was a lot of bugs in this house. There were centipedes and spiders and ants and all kinds of stuff. I treated my house before I moved in. So this is way more interesting than the debate. I'm late because my laptop froze and had to reboot. It's just a couple old guys arguing. That's all the debate is. Okay, so he was holding on. I don't know if there's any loose in this bag, Alicia. Are you gonna freak out? Oh, you can't hear me. She don't want to hear me. So, I've got this cup, a little Dixie cup, and these are live bugs in this cup. Now, if you've watched my channel before, you know that I have a thing for bringing bed bugs home from work. So I had a customer that gave me these. Now, they've never been exposed to any pesticides or anything like that. Let's see. Are they alive still? Oh yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, yes, they're alive. Don't look. Don't look. It's okay. So let's see if I can get this to... See those? Is it focusing? No, it's not going to focus. It's not going to do what I want it to do. But yeah, they're still alive in there. I'm going to zip that up. So, thought I'd show you what some bed bugs look like. Live ones. They're live. I went like that because I wanted to get them to move around. So, anyway, Dash says I'm nuts. I never really give referrals out of state. I don't know people. I'm very particular about who I recommend. Even here in Virginia, when people ask me, they're like, "Oh, hey, do you know anybody that does gutters? Do you know anybody that does plumbing?" I'm very particular about who I recommend because I don't know if they're going to do a good job or not, and so unless I know somebody specific, then I don't really give out their name. Healing Base says, is Alpine still the second best you would recommend after Crossfire for sufferers living in Europe? If you can get Alpine, it works really well on bed bugs. The problem with Alpine is, oh no, she saw. She saw. Her eyes bugged out. I put them back in the bag. But anyway, if you can get Alpine, Alpine does kill bed bugs. Alpine WSG is what I recommend. I don't recommend the aerosol, but I do recommend the spray. But I have had problems where the Alpine is actually the bugs are becoming immune to it. I feel like they're not dying from it like they used to. So when I would go in and do a house, I would use Alpine on the baseboards and through the remainder of the house. And then I would treat the mattresses, box springs, and stuff like that with Crossfire. Because I feel like whenever I do a job where I'm dealing with a lot of possibility of immunity, so when you're doing things like bed bugs, cockroaches, that they can become immune to pesticides, I like to use lots of different things. For example, today I did a clean out for cockroaches. I used bait, dust. I used 3 different liquid pesticides so that if the possibility of the bugs being immune to one thing is pretty high, but the possibility of them being immune to 5 different things is that lessens the possibility. And so with bed bugs, because they develop immunity to pesticides, I like to use Crossfire, which is 3 different pesticides, plus I use Alpine, which is a 4th pesticide, and sometimes I even dust in the wall voids on a severe case, which would be 5 pesticides. And so the possibility of them being immune to 1 is possible, but to be immune to 5 is pretty slim. And so what I've noticed, though, on the jobs when I started, I'm still using Alpine, I still use it, but I've noticed that they don't die as quickly from Alpine as they used to. And I'm kind of wondering if they are developing immunity to Alpine because it is only the 1 ingredient. and so it is a possibility. They did. That's what happened with temperate. So I was asked a question earlier to go over temperate and the differences with temperate and say some other different pesticides. That's one of the problems with temperate is temperate has been so widely used by so many different PCOs and just consumers alone, is that I feel like temperate is something that the bed bugs have developed an immunity to. I've had a lot of people contact me, not just people, but actual pest control technicians have contacted me, and they said they've been using temperate, and it does not work like it used to. Like they had much better results a few years ago, and now it's not working anymore. And they're having issues with it, and they're moving over to different chemicals. So it is something that I've noticed with both temperate and alpine, is that the bugs, at least here in the States, are developing immunity to it. So, Omen says, do you treat things like cat towers or other places pets frequently lay? For fleas, yes. For bed bugs, no. Because the bed bugs aren't really drawn to cats or dogs. Sorry, I just got a message that was hidden because a phone number was put in it. Phone numbers are not allowed, so you know, if I do have ways to get in contact with me, I think I've listed it below. I may not have. I haven't. I need to fix that. But if you go to my Facebook page, you know who you are. I'm not gonna list your name right off the bat. But if you find Green Acres Pest Control on Facebook, you can send me a message there if you have any questions about that. But anyway, do you treat things like cat towers? Yes, okay, I went over that. Dash says, what about phantom or bedlam? Bedlam, the bed bugs have developed immunity to bedlam because it was used before crossfire. That's why they came out with bedlam. They came out with bedlam because it wasn't. I mean, they came out with crossfire because bedlam was not working
Back door
like
open.
It was supposed to. What is that?
Back door open.
Okay, but phantom, I mean, it's so restrictive as to where you can use it. That's why I wouldn't use phantom for bed bugs. Ants, it's really good for ants. It's good for cockroaches too. Katrina says, have you ever had an experience where someone was convinced you couldn't help them? Yeah. I've been in homes before where people were positive that I couldn't help them. They still, took a risk and I got rid of their bugs. Those are the best customers, honestly. The ones where where the people are convinced that you can't do your job and you go in and you do your job. It's I like those customers. You can't always help people though. So there are issues, especially with bed bugs, of psychosis. So there is a specific psychosis that is linked to bed bug bites, and people who have had bed bugs before are positive they can never get rid of them. I think it honestly comes from a lot of internet searches and going online. I mean, if you go on Google, we can try right now. If you go to Google and search, I can't get rid of bed bug. Oop, I didn't spell rid right, did I? Can't get rid of bed bugs. Here's a few ways to treat. If you go on here and you just search through, see, this is just a bunch of ads here, but if you go through Google and you actually search some of the bed bug forums, people will swear that there's nothing you can do to get rid of bed bugs. And so that's just not true. And they believe it, and then they call exterminators. They just don't think the exterminator is going to be honest with them. Or they think the exterminator is going to try to take them for all they can, try to get as much money out of them as they can, and they won't. They're not actually because they're being lied to. They're not being told the truth or whatever. But no, I've had that happen before, where you go in and the people are just convinced that you won't be able to do the job. I've walked away from jobs like that too, because I feel like I want to make the customer happy, and there's some people you could just never please. Healing Base says, seems Crossfire didn't kill all the bed bugs I have. It's a big infestation, but I will do a better application. If it still doesn't kill the last bed bugs, what should I buy for shipment to Denmark and Europe? You should be able to get rid of your bed bugs. You really should. The only other thing I would recommend is something like, Alpine or something like that. But you treat once a month. A novice, someone who isn't trained, isn't a trained professional, I'd recommend treating once a month for at least 3 months. And that's because you will miss places, you won't get everything, and it takes, I've been doing bed bugs for 22 years. So it's something that I can just do. I can go in a house, I know exactly where I'm going to treat. I'm going to go to that spot, I'm going to do that. I'll go to this spot, I'm going to do that. I'm going to flip the bed, I'm going to treat this. And I have my routine. And me and my son can go in and do an entire 5-bedroom house in 45 minutes. But that's because we know where to go and what to do and exactly where to treat. So you don't waste your time. And or waste product for that. You're not going to treat the wrong place and use too much product, or you're not going to treat, you're not going to miss a spot, because you're going to treat the right spots. You're going to treat all the right spots. And so you need to just continue to retreat. You will get rid of your bed bugs. You will. You will get rid of it. It's not going to be one of these things where you're going to have to try something else. Crossfire is the end-all solution as of right now. If for some reason bed bugs start developing an immunity to Crossfire, I'm going to know, because I'm in bed bugs every day, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to tell you exactly what I use. That's why I tell you to bookmark my Amazon page, because if for some reason anything ever changes, it's going to change there. If for some reason somebody asks me a question like, can I use this, like just now, Molly asked me what type of chemicals were good to use around the outside for ants, I went and changed my list on the fly. That's what I do every day. You don't see it because I don't do it live in front of an audience like you guys. I just do it. So if somebody asks me like what can kill silverfish, I'd make a site and I'd say, this is my silverfish page. This is the chemicals that kill silverfish, And so that way you have a list, a comprehensive list you can go to know exactly what I'm using. It's only what I'm using. So I only advise people to use chemicals that I personally have used, that I know work. I'm not going to go and advertise something like, someone asked me about Apprehend. I'm not going to actually go and advertise something like Apprehend. I've never used it. I only know what other people have told me about using it. I really need someone to tell what is going on. Oh, Justin. Yeah. Well, like I said, I can do the best I can, but I can't guarantee I can help you, Justin. So Katrina says, yes, I had to leave a forum for that reason. People saying I've tried everything, it's impossible, but they're only using diatomaceous earth and rubbing alcohol, and it scared me too much. Yes, exactly. You'll burn your house down using rubbing alcohol. Thank you, that's reassuring. That's reassuring. I'm not sure, Gary. It didn't show through. Let's see. No, it didn't show through. Dash for Glory says it doesn't it fall on the customer a lot though to do their work, laundry, everything? No, actually no, not to get rid of bed bugs. So, all right. So this is another thing that people will tell you. So let's see. They used to have, and I don't want to do this. I don't usually do this. But I want to do this first and just see, because I haven't. Where's bed bugs? Bed bugs, bed bugs, bed bugs. And there used to be a checklist. Okay. one of these days I'm going to get you a comprehensive checklist and actually go over it and show you why it's not effective. So when I do a bed bug treatment, my customers will say, what do I need to do to get ready for the treatment? And typically you have to strip your mattresses, take all your covers, comforters, bed sheets, stuff like that off your bed. So it's just a bare, naked mattress and box spring. That's it. Take off your dust ruffles and everything. Take all that stuff off and leave just your mattress and box spring. You treat inside the box spring. You treat outside the box spring. You treat the mattress. You treat the seams in the mattress. You treat the bed rails, headboard, and footboard of the bed and the feet where they touch the floor. You treat the baseboards throughout the entire house. You treat the comforter, not comforter, the we call it couch, love seat, lazy boy recliners. You treat, it absorbs into their body, Katrina. The chemical absorbs into their body, and it will it affects their nervous system and kills them that way. So that's the way it works. It actually absorbs in through their exoskeleton when they crawl through it. So what happens is when the bed bugs, all right, so let's say the bed bugs are in your dresser. All right, I didn't tell you to take your clothes out of your dresser. I didn't tell you to wash your clothes. I told you just remove your sheets and your beds and your comforters and stuff like that. Your covers and stuff. That's all I said. That's all I said. That's all I tell people to do, ever. That's all I tell people to do. I don't tell them to take a whole bunch of stuff out from underneath the bed. I don't tell them to pull a whole bunch of stuff out of their dressers and their chest of drawers. I don't tell them to pull stuff out of their closet. And the reason I don't is because Crossfire is a non-repellent. The bed bugs do not see it as a chemical. They don't know it's there. So if they don't know anything's been done, it's business as usual, and the chemical lasts for 30 days. Do you honestly think that if a bed bug is living in your dresser, that it's not going to come out in a month, 30 days, a whole month, and come out and get a blood meal from you while you're laying in the bed? They will come out, they will bite you while you're laying in the bed. They're not going to stay in the dresser. So there's no reason to go and pull everything out of your dresser. Now people will cut, like before I get to their house, they will pull everything out of the dresser. They will pull everything out of the chest of drawers. They will pull everything out of the closet. I will treat those areas, even though if they've gone to all the work to do it, then I don't mind treating the dressers if it just eases their mind. It's not like you can't treat those areas. You can, but you don't have to. It's not required. So that's what I'm trying to explain, is that it's typically the only time it falls on the customer is because they're reinfesting from somewhere else. They may be bringing them in from a friend or a family. They may be just a relative or something that's coming over constantly all the time. Maybe you're babysitting for somebody. Maybe they're coming in off the school bus when your child gets home from school. So these are the places that bed bugs can get into your home. Reinfestation from the same place it's logical. It happens all the time. So that's usually what happens as to why you're not being able to get rid of your bed bugs, is because they're being reintroduced. Okay, so Justin says, I will pay whatever I have to, but not lie. We have done so much to get rid of this thing. We have not found the right person to talk about this to. Okay, we're not getting a bit at night. It's at the daytime too. So you're getting bit at night and day, and that's pretty severe bedbug infestation. Have you tried Crossfire? Because that's what I recommend anyone to use. That's what I always recommend, is Crossfire. Everybody here knows I talk about Crossfire. People are saying, like Jennifer up above, if you scroll up and read, she says Crossfire works. That's what she uses. That's what she's used. It works. It does work. Just keep treating, follow the directions, and you'll get rid of bed bugs. They're going to die. Now, if it's not bed bugs, Crossfire may not work, because Crossfire is a chemical that is made for bed bugs. So it's possible that the bed bugs aren't actually going to die. If it's not bed bugs, Crossfire may not work, because Crossfire is only for bed bugs. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I drink too much water. I have to use the bathroom. um, so, Omen says, so would Crossfire still work on a bat bug? I mean, I can't say for sure that it would work on a bat bug. I can't say for sure that it would not work on a bat bug. I have treated homes for bed bugs, and it ended up being bat bugs and not bed bugs, and the bat bugs died. But that's because this was before I knew there was even a difference. I went in the house, I pulled the sheets off the bed, it looked like bed bugs. I treated the house for bed bugs, the bat bugs died. That has happened before. But this was years ago, and this is before there was even a difference. I mean, I didn't even know there was a difference between bat bugs or bed bugs. In fact, for a long time, we were actually taught, and I was under the suspicion that bed bugs actually came from bats. And the way that people infested their houses was that bats were getting in their attic, and that's how they were getting bed bugs. And so that's actually not true. There's actually a bed bug that is attracted to humans that come from other people. And so they actually aren't bat bugs. They aren't the same thing. And this is new stuff that came out, I mean, it was new to me back 10, 15 years ago. But now that I know that there is a difference, I don't recommend it for bat bugs because it's not really for bat bugs. It's really for bed bugs. But I imagine it would probably kill them both the same. I would imagine it would. So. So I've been here for, was it going on an hour now? And I usually don't talk much more than an hour. If there's any other questions, last minute questions or so, I have no problem asking them before I head off. I got work in the morning. I work every day. I'm 24 hours, 7 days a week, pest control company. Just me. Hey. So if there's any questions before too much longer, I got to get on off of here and get to bed. So, but I'm free to open anything, and also consider taking a look and sending me a follow on Facebook. I do have Green Acres Pest Control over on Facebook. I do have a group over there. In fact, I can link it. Let me link it real quick. It's a do-it-yourself pest control group. It's only 27 members. It's not a lot. But let me go ahead and post it in the chat for anyone that's interested in joining my Facebook group. It's a group on pest control. So, does your son work with you during the normal school year? Just curious. Oh, I homeschool my son. So, yeah, he works with me all the time. Rory has worked with me for 8 years, 7 years? 7 years. 7 years. Almost 8 years. Have you ever introduced the wife? I have. But she doesn't get on camera. But she forgets that I have a Facebook where if you really want to see pictures of my wife, she's on Facebook. So, you have a good night too. Thank you very much. Where do mosquitoes rest outside? What areas should I treat to control them? Mosquitoes roost in shade, bushes, boxwoods, under the leaves of trees, magnolia trees especially they love because they stay nice and cool and shady. They like a shady spot to roost during the day, during the heat of the day. And so typically you want to treat foliage up next to the house, bushes and trees and stuff like that up under the leaves especially. So if you've got like an angled spray nozzle, you want to kind of angle it so it goes up underneath the bushes, underneath of the leaves, and that would take care of the places that the mosquitoes like to roost. The eaves of your home, the soffits, around the soffits and the eaves, mosquitoes will roost there. You want to treat those areas. And you may even consider treating the yard with a granular pesticide. And maybe they make those spray bottles that you can fasten to the end of a water hose. that the water mixes with the chemical and sprays out an actual liquid pesticide, and you could treat your yard with that, and it will help with mosquitoes if that's something that you're having problems with. But yes, mosquitoes. The one big deal with mosquitoes, and the hardest part with dealing with mosquitoes is what your neighbors do to their yard. And if you live close enough to your neighbors to where even if you treated your yard, the neighbors' mosquitoes are going to come over to your yard again, then you're really not really doing anything except killing whatever lands in your yard. But if the mosquitoes are flying from next door because your neighbor's got a kiddie pool that's been had water in it since the summer and then never drain it and it's breeding mosquitoes, then there's not really a lot you can do for that unless you sneak over and pour out the pool. As it says, I had a treatment 2 weeks ago, and I did see them on the first week. This week it's silent. I didn't see any or had bedbug bites, so that's a good step. So with bed bugs, this is what you can expect to find after treatment for bed bugs. Bed bugs die after so if they crawl through crossfire, they usually die within a few hours after it's fresh. So the fresher it is, the faster the bed bugs are going to die. The longer it sits out, the longer it takes to kill them. So in the first week to 2 weeks, the bed bugs usually die pretty quickly. Usually within the first couple hours of crawling through the chemical, the bed bugs are dead. So you can still get bit, but as they start diminishing in number, you'll start getting bit less often and less often, because the ones that are biting periodically, like pretty much every day, are the females. They come out and they're full grown adults. They're not just, in their instar phases. And so as they start to dissipate, you'll start to get fewer and fewer and fewer bites. And you may only get bite about once a week. And the reason this is because the nymph stage of bed bugs, as they grow up and they go through their instar phases, they will lose their skin. So they shed their skin every week to 10 days. And that's when they bite you. They bite you to shed their skin because they engorge on blood and get rid of your bed bugs, or feel like you've gotten rid of your bed bugs within the first couple weeks because you just stopped getting bites. But don't consider the infestation gone yet. I always tell my customers to wait at least 5 weeks, and if you still have bites after 5 weeks, that's when you want to consider retreating, because that gives the chemical plenty of time to react on all of the different stages of bed bugs that are growing up in your house, living in your house, not just the adults, because the eggs alone take 6 to 10 days to hatch. So if they take 6 to 10 days to hatch, the babies, when they first hatch, they feed on bed bug adult poop. That's what they eat. They don't actually feed on blood until they wait about a week or so. And then once they get about a week old, then they'll come out and they'll engorge on blood, shed their skin, and that starts the instar phases where they feed again. In another week to 10 days, they'll feed again. And so this happens 5 times. They go through 5 instar phases. Once they go through all 5 phases, that's when they become full-grown mature adults. That's when they start biting you every day. So you're only going to get bit every day by adult bed bugs. Now, they can bite you sporadically. So let's say you have one today that's ready to shed their skin, and they bite you today. And then tomorrow you have another one that's ready to shed its skin, so it bites you tomorrow. So you still may get multiple bites throughout the week because you've got those different ones going through those different life cycles. So, Omen says, so on severe infestation, is there just dead? Yeah, just dead bed bug carcasses everywhere. Oh yeah, I've gone into houses where I flip the bed, so when I'm there and I'm treating the bed, there's nothing. And when I come back the next month and I lift the bed up, oh, they're dead all over the place. I find them dead inside the box springs. I find them dead in the bed rails. I found them dead all over the place. And so this is because back before, maybe about a year ago, I was doing 3 treatments. That's what I would do for people. I would go in and I would say I would not do less than 3 treatments. I would say, look, I cannot do your house if you cannot let me come 3 months in a row, because I feel like you need somebody here to observe what's going on after the treatment is done. But what I was finding is that even though I was going back on these 2nd and 3rd treatments, I wasn't finding anything alive at all. And so last year I took a leap of faith in August, and I was like, I'm going to start doing just one-time treatments. If they need me, they'll call me. And I've only gotten callback twice, I think 2, maybe only once or twice. It hadn't even been 3 or 4 times at all. It was only like twice, I think, the most that it's been over the last year I've gotten called back at all. So, and I typically give like a half off for the second follow-up if I have to do one. Katrina says, do you always do 2 treatments? No, I only do 1 typically. I only ever do 1. I just do treat once. And I very rarely have to go back. I mean, I do have to go back. It does happen sometimes, but that's rare. It's really rare. And this is not just mild infestations either. These are extreme infestations where you're going to see them everywhere. I just go ahead and kill them all. So, Tony says, do you know how long a bug has to be exposed to a pesticide to die? It depends on the pesticide. Like how many steps into a treated zone does it normally take before chemical does its effect? Okay, so like I was saying earlier, a pesticide has a shelf life. And it has a basically not necessarily a shelf life. I should word it differently. It loses its effectiveness as soon as it's treated. So if you mix a gallon of pesticide, now you've got this gallon, it's mixed, it's brand new, fresh chemical, just been made. All right, you spray it today. Tomorrow it's not as effective as today. Okay, and the next day it's not as effective as today either. And so it starts to lose its effectiveness over time, which means when a bug crawls through the pesticide, it takes either more pesticide, so it has to crawl through more of it before it dies, or it has to actually, it just takes longer for it to die. So to say how many steps it takes for a bug, so if I spray Crossfire on a bed bug, it dies within seconds. It's just dead. It just dies. It's like, it dies. Okay, that's it. But if I spray the Crossfire, it dries, and I come back tomorrow, it takes them 2 to 4 hours to die after it crosses the chemical, because it's dry and it affects them a little differently when it's dry. So, Katrina says, okay, last question. How would I monitor, or what signs to take track of to make sure my treatment worked? Well, I always tell people that if you haven't been bit for a month, the bed bugs are dead. And this is what I say. This is why I said earlier about, making sure, not having to treat your furniture or like inside your dressers and stuff like that, is because the bed bugs are not going to wait a month to bite you. They're going to bite you before a month is up. And so the bed bugs typically stop biting you, and you just stop getting bit. And you just count the days, and you figure, well, I haven't been bit today, and today is what? Today's 22nd. So if you don't get bit today, then you wait till the 22nd of next month. And if you go all the way to the 22nd of next month and you don't get any more bed bug bites, then you're bed bug free. And if you get any bed bugs after that month period, 2-3 months later, consider it a new infestation. Figure out who's bringing bed bugs in your house. So hopefully this has been a beneficial live stream for you guys. I'll see you next week. I'm going to go ahead and I guess I'm going to do another premiere on Tuesdays if you guys really enjoyed that, if you liked it. I'm going to try to do premieres on Tuesdays. If I can't do a premiere and it's just not going to work with my schedule, I'll release it in the morning like I usually do. Otherwise, you can expect to catch me around 9:30 at night on Tuesdays, and I'll chat with you. Now, it's not going to be the same as tonight. I'm not going to be live, but I'll answer your questions while we watch the premiere together. So y'all have a great night. I appreciate it. And I'll be chatting to you soon. Thanks.